What's up, everybody? We're back with another one. Today we're doing another. If this is the first one I made, I'm sorry if I said another, but we're doing a story video. Not my story, but I like reading stories, like when I'm at work and everything. But on this one, because I think the other one I did, if I don't post this one first, but the other one was about like scary stories. This one's gonna be about like drug related stories because I love the drug stories. Like they're so it's interesting to hear what people's experiences or like horror experiences and everything. I just think it's just amazing. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the gameplay in the back and everything. This is something different that I wanted to try. This is something that you could just have on in the background or I guess watch and listen to, but I probably would just have it in the background, you know what I mean? But anyways, let's get into this. A bunch of my friends and I took some X. After the usual hugs and head rubs, we started to get creative. Someone suggests we see how many of us could fit on top of a refrigerator. The magic number happened to be six. While we were perched on top and marveled at what we accomplished, someone started to crow and we followed a suit. This is when a large group of people walked through the door to see six wide eyed freaks crawling like crows on top of the fridge. Yeah, life was sure great. Dude, that shit is crazy, man. I always like hearing like all like the party drug stories and everything because it makes it seem like when people take X or like Molly or like MDMA, they seem like they're like having the time of their life. And I could only imagine being the guy to like walk in to this room and seeing six guys on top of a fridge tweaked out. Like that shit's crazy. All right, let's get into this next one. This one's about from 16 years ago, which is crazy. This happened to a friend of mine. It was his first time smoking weed, and just a few of us smoked a huge blunt in our college dorm room. I told him he might not get high for his first time, so I think he started taking these huge hits, trying to take the smoke right, etc. Suddenly, he started having a bad trip. Started innocently rough, started innocently enough. He said his heart was pounding really fast and that he was nervous. He began to talk about other things, trying to get him calm. About 10 minutes later, he started to bug out and his heart is beating really hard and fast. So we get him on a computer. We used to play a lot of Counter-Strike at the time, so we thought this would be the best way to get his mind off the potential panic attack. Explanation: we were high. Poor guy, he was tripping and panicking, but he doesn't exactly know what to tell him to do. So he was high as balls, trying to frag the D dust. Unfortunately, the servers freezes just as someone gets a kill, and suddenly the room is silent except for kill, 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 kill repeatedly from the frozen servers. His face loses color as he asks us to get the knives out of the room, kitchen knives. This is where the dorm room, so they were suddenly nearby. So we quickly get him off the computer, get him in bed, and darken the room to eliminate sensory stimulation. He started talking about him hearing the devil and how the devil is promising he'll stop the bad trip if he kills us all. It took us forever to calm him down to get him to sleep. As a result of that night, he continued to have panic attacks when sober for a few months after. I remember he carried anti anxiety pills just in case he has a panic attack hits. A friend had a bad trip, so we thought we could help him if we played Counter Strike. Bro, you guys had to be smoking like spice or something crazy because first, I mean, I get the experience because I mean, personally me, I've never had the smoking for the first time. I've never had the experience of like panicking or anything crazy. Sure, whenever I did smoke, I never like I would panic, but the thing is I didn't want to like be like, "Oh, I need to call the cops," or like I need to be doing something. I never really panicked out of the sense. It was just more or less my panic was that my heart was just reading fast, but I didn't want to be the person to be like, "Oh, I'm freaking out." I never did that. For being this guy right here, for them being like, "Oh, well, like this guy was taking fucking blinkers off the fucking blunt." That shit's crazy. But putting him on Counter Strike, I don't know about you, but I don't really think that would be the best game to put someone on who's like having like already heart palpitations and panicking, because that's like a first person shooter. The first person shooter is going to make someone want to be all attentive and everything on that. But this guy was saying that the devil was telling him like, "Oh, I could get rid of this bad trip, but you got to kill all your homies." Damn, bro. I would have just locked this guy in the closet and be like, "You can figure it out. Be in the dark. Here's some water bottles. We'll put some good music in the back, whatever. Like we could watch some fucking what is it? What is it? Some like Coco Melon. Yeah, there you go. We could watch something like that. But yeah. That's a crazy one. All right, let's get on to another one. Let's see. I have a cool story about a friend of mine. All right, so this guy is a pretty crazy drug dealer. Sells a lot of stuff. Anyways, he goes out to a club slash bar and he's drinking rum and cokes all night. He's with his friends. He wakes up the next morning with blood all over him. In his pocket, his gun is empty, so are the magazines in his pocket that were previously loaded. He probably shot off 30 rounds in his house at this point. After going, what the fuck, he walks into his SUV, which is covered in blood on the inside. He calls his friends who didn't tell him they left while he was still drinking. To this day, he has no idea what the fuck happened. He didn't have a scratch. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. What did you do? You killed some random guy? All right, so let's see. What's. Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this one. Oh, let's see this one? Nah, we'll do this one right here. I ate a hunk of white blotted paper once. Within 20 minutes, I knew I was going to be a whopper. After walking one block to get some orange juice and smoking a joint, I was literally losing my grip with reality. I put on Grateful Dead DVD, closing with closing of Winter Wall. I don't know what that is. And laid back on my sofa, looking up at the ceiling. The fan started to spin. It was off. And then and bounced from the wall across from the ceiling. After a certain point, it stopped in the middle of the ceiling again, and I proceed to hallucinate harder than I ever before. Harder than ever before. The fan blades turned into flower petals and went from solid brown to a white with shade and pink and yellow. They grew in size and began to droop towards the ground. The entire room was collapsing on itself. At this point, I decided that my friend, I should probably take a walk as the space felt rather constraining. I remember walking through Hyde Park in Austin, Texas, and looking at all the cool homes built in the 40s. It was amazing. As every car passed by, it left a path of what looked like swirling water currents in concrete. At one point, we were walking through a residential neighborhood, and a group of children ran by us singing songs of whatnot. It was clear they had just left one house with a pool and were heading to another. The straggler of the pack was wearing his towel like a cape and swinging and sing what the fuck and singing a song straight out of a horror movie. He ran past us and turned to look at us. His lips moved, but I cannot comprehend the words from his mouth. He was surely the devil. At this point, overwhelming of fear, and I got the fuck out of there before someone else sees the kids. These kids took over. We head back towards the house where we finished the trip with a few Floyd albums and a quarter ounce of the best marijuana money could buy. To be honest, like acid stories sound so cool. Like because some people make the perspective like where you like you take it wherever you're at and then you start going on a walk. Like I've heard some stories where like people be like, "Oh, well, let's drop some acid, wait for it to kick in, and then we'll go on like a nature walk." And then like I've heard some people like say like their experiences with that like have been really good, or like some people's have been real bad as well. But at the same time, it just sounds like a magical experience at the end of the day. We'll see. We'll see if we could find another one, and then we'll read one more after this, and then we'll call it a video. Okay, I think we found a banger. This video, this These comments are like old, man. Some of these are from 16 years ago. So let's read this one. I'm going to write down every thought I have, or rather type. I'm in a happy place. This is good. It feels like home in my dorm, listening to Pink Floyd. The music feels more like an arm or a leg, something a part of me and is marvelous. Now I think words like marvelous were intended to describe this. I'm definitely in my own little happy space, away from everything bad, and this is good. Time is not accounted for. I've lost track of time. Usually I have an account of time. I've completely gone insane. I love it. I'm in my own reality. My mind and body are like two things. It is perfect. I want to be like this forever. I smoked some salvia earlier. I can't remember what I did. My mind is racing ahead of my hands. I want to type so much more to be able to express this feeling. I feel a peace, love, everything is in harmony. I want to be like this forever. The shrooms have me in my own land that is perfect and peaceful. This is a complete insanity, bliss, nirvana, the feeling of belonging, having my own little land to live in, free of insecurities, completely open to who I am. I love myself. I love the world. Everything is so beautiful and hard to describe. If there's a heaven, I would like it to be like this. The music has stopped. I realize everything has been an experience. Everything. My God, sorry. I realize everything I've been experiencing is a Pink Floyd album. The music took a lull, but began again, and everything was restored to a wonderful place. I was before, warped, different. Like I've left reality and I've left behind all the fears of the world. Words can't describe the world I'm in, but it feels like I'm home, a place I want to be. I feel comfort. I solve a Rubik's Cube. I wonder how to appear to other people. Reality isn't something we're supposed to leave. Have I gone insane? What am I? The music and the drugs, everything is connected to me, to this place. I understand I have to leave it. The drugs will wear off. I forget where I am, what I'm typing. I'm not afraid, but I feel there should be a fear accompanying this feeling, wandering off, leaving the world behind. Other people, how, oh my God, sorry. How do I look for them? How many of them are there? Who exists outside of my world? I am myself. I understand. I didn't know. Oh my God, bro. Let me, fuck that shit. We're skipping that one. I'm fucking that one up too much. We'll just go on to this next one. I survived Datura overdose suicide attempt. Ask me anything. I survived a Datura suicide attempt. I ate the seeds to an entire pod, and shortly after, I began feeling myself lose control over everything, and a wave of euphoria set in, which was short lived, and I followed by extreme dry throat and mouth and dysmorphia. I kept altering in my state of lucidity and delirium, and I remember being extremely hungry despite my unquenchable dehydration, which felt agonizing and brutal. I tried to eat a sandwich, and I remember quite vividly I began to have horrifying sidal hallucinations of seeing myself out of body and being very scared as I felt like I was dying. Every bite I took of an egg, I almost I made and I desperately tried drinking water, but like the egg I tried to eat, I could feel the water on my dry tongue and sore. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I could feel the water on my dry tongue and throat, as if my body surrendered and became hydrophobic. I began to feel I began to feel tired and went to sleep. From what I remember, I saw a glass spider and a cat made out of rusty razors. I remember feeling so trapped inside of my own head while watching the spiders on my bed, and I desperately wanted to kick it away despite my inability to do so. I do not remember much after this point, but began falling over and fuck. You know what? You know what? I tried, guys. Oh man. You know what? We're just gonna keep on doing this until I get it right. But like, I apologize for this. You guys were probably really into it, and I'm sorry. But I don't know why. It's just like it's so weird to read it because like it's. I think my eyes are just going all over the place right now. But I'm so sorry to ruin that story. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys do want to see more like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, be honest too. If you be honest in the comments. Tell me I'm shit in the comments for like messing up these stories. Just let me know. I'll fix myself. Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.